The small-town diner buzzed quietly under the flickering neon lights, the smell of burnt coffee and fresh pie drifting through the air as the night wind rattled the old windows. Emily, a kind-hearted young waitress barely 22, was on her 6th double shift that week. She wore a smile so genuine that even the regulars felt a little lighter when she poured their coffee. Life hadn't been easy, her mom was sick, bills kept piling up, and college had slipped through her fingers, but she kept moving, believing that kindness cost nothing. That night, a black limousine rolled up outside the diner, its tinted windows reflecting the red neon sign that read, "Marty's Grill, open 24 hours." The door opened, and 3 teens stepped out, all dressed in designer clothes, their laughter echoing loud enough to drown out the crickets. The leader of the trio was Tiffany, 18, beautiful, arrogant, and born into money so vast she thought the world bowed when she snapped her fingers. Her father owned half the city, her mother was on magazine covers, and Tiffany had never been told no in her life. They strutted into the diner like they owned it. Emily straightened her apron and approached them with her usual warmth. "Good evening. What can I get you folks tonight?" she asked softly, her tired smile unwavering. Tiffany barely looked up from her phone. "Do you even have anything that's not greasy?" she muttered, her tone dripping with disgust. Her friends snickered, scrolling through their own screens. Emily chuckled politely. "Well, ma'am, we have salads, grilled chicken." Tiffany interrupted, wrinkling her nose. "Yeah, whatever. Just bring me sparkling water. Not tap. I'm not drinking from this place." Emily nodded, still smiling, and went to fetch the water. At a corner booth, a group of rugged bikers sat quietly, leather jackets with the words Hell's Angels stitched across their backs, silver chains glinting under the dim lights. They weren't the rowdy type that night, they'd just come in after a long charity ride, 50 of them total, spread across tables, tired and hungry after delivering toys to an orphanage 2 towns over. Their leader, a broad-shouldered man with gray in his beard and eyes like cold steel, noticed Emily's gentle kindness immediately. He'd been coming there for years, always admiring how she treated everyone the same, even the ones who didn't deserve it. When Emily returned with Tiffany's drink, she placed it down carefully. "Here you go, miss. Sparkling water, chilled glass." Tiffany glanced at it, lifted it, and sniffed the rim. "Ugh. What is this?" she hissed. Emily blinked, confused. "It's Perrier. Just like you asked." Tiffany suddenly smirked, and before Emily could react, she spat directly into the waitress's face. The diner went silent. The glass clinked as Tiffany set it down and leaned back in her seat, smirking triumphantly. "Next time, wash your hands before serving me," she sneered. Her friends burst into laughter, one even recording on his phone. Emily froze. Her face turned red, not from anger, but humiliation. Her hands trembled as she wiped her cheek with her apron. She could have yelled, she could have thrown the water back, but instead, she whispered, "I'm sorry, ma'am." That single act of grace made the entire diner shift. From the corner, the biker leader, Duke, rose slowly, his heavy boots echoing across the linoleum. 50 heads turned as the rest of the Hell's Angels looked up from their meals. The teens didn't notice at first. Duke's gravelly voice broke the silence. "Miss, you might want to apologize for that." Tiffany turned around, eyes rolling. "Excuse me? Who even are you?" she snapped. Duke's face was calm, but his eyes burned like thunderclouds. "Just someone who doesn't like seeing good people disrespected." One of Tiffany's friends laughed nervously. "Dude, relax. It's just a joke." Duke took another step forward. The sound of chairs scraping filled the diner as more bikers stood up, big men, tattooed arms, leather vests gleaming under the lights. 50 of them, surrounding the room. The rich teens suddenly looked very small. "It's not a joke," Duke said evenly. "It's a lesson." Emily, panicking, rushed forward. "Please, don't. It's okay. She's just a kid." Duke turned to her gently. "No, sweetheart. You've been kind to everyone here for years. But tonight, it's time someone's kind for you." Tiffany's smug grin faltered. She tried to hide behind her phone, whispering to her friends. "Call my dad. Tell him to send the car." But no one dared move. Duke leaned over the table until his shadow swallowed Tiffany whole. "You think money makes you better?" he asked quietly. "You think you can humiliate people and walk away?" Tiffany stammered, I didn't mean." "Yes, you did," Duke said. "But here's the thing. In this world, respect isn't bought, it's earned." The diner was silent except for the faint hum of the ceiling fan. Emily's eyes welled up, not from fear, but from the overwhelming realization that these men, rough and wild as they seemed, were standing up for her. Tiffany looked around, 50 bikers watching her every move. The same waitress she spat on was now being defended by an entire brotherhood. Slowly, tears began to form in her eyes. I'm sorry," she whispered. "Louder," Duke said. "I'm sorry," Tiffany cried, her voice cracking. "I didn't mean to." Duke nodded once, satisfied. "Now you know. Remember that next time you think someone's beneath you." The tension began to fade as the bikers sat back down. Emily tried to stop shaking. She whispered, "Thank you, Duke, but you didn't have to." He smiled slightly. "Yeah, I did. This world needs more people like you, and fewer like her." The limo left the diner minutes later, its passengers silent and pale. Tiffany sat staring out the window, her reflection haunted. That night, something shifted inside her, something she didn't understand yet. As the last customer left, Emily closed the diner with trembling hands. Duke and a few of his men stayed behind to help her clean up. "You okay, sweetheart?" one of them asked. Emily nodded weakly. "Yeah. Just, not used to people standing up for me." Duke patted her shoulder. "Then get used to it. You've got 50 brothers watching your back now." The clock struck midnight, and Emily stepped outside, looking up at the stars. For the first time in years, she felt seen, protected. But what she didn't know was that this wasn't the end. The next morning, Tiffany's father would hear what happened, and he wasn't a man who took humiliation lightly. And as the sun rose over the small town, the storm that was coming would test loyalty, kindness, and justice like never before. Morning sunlight poured through the blinds of Emily's tiny apartment. The scent of brewed coffee filled the small kitchen, but her heart was still heavy from the night before. She kept replaying the scene in her mind, Tiffany's cruel smirk, Duke's thunderous voice, and the sight of 50 leather-clad bikers standing up for her when no one else ever had. She had cried after locking up the diner, not because she was scared, but because for the first time in her life, she felt like someone cared enough to protect her. She didn't know the story had already gone viral overnight. Someone from the diner had secretly recorded the incident, and by dawn, millions had watched. Rich teen spits on Waitress. What happens next shocked everyone. Emily's name wasn't in the title, but her kindness was being celebrated everywhere. People called her an angel, a role model, a living reminder of humility. But not everyone watching felt the same way. At the edge of town, inside a sprawling mansion guarded by black SUVs, Tiffany's father sat in his office, his jaw clenched as he replayed the viral clip. Robert Kingsley wasn't just rich, he was powerful. CEO of Kingsley Motors, one of the biggest automotive empires in the country. And now, his only daughter had become the face of public shame. Reporters camped outside the gates, shareholders were furious, and Tiffany's friends had started to distance themselves online. "Dad, I didn't mean to," Tiffany whispered, sitting across from him in tears. He slammed his hand on the desk. "Do you realize what you've done? You've humiliated this family. Your mother's PR team is in meltdown. I said I was sorry, she cried. Sorry won't erase the millions of views, he barked. You spat on a waitress, and 50 bikers stepped in. Now they're heroes and we're the villains. He turned toward his assistant. Find out everything about that diner. The owner. The waitress. The biker gang. I want names. By noon, Emily returned to work at Marty's Grill. She tried to keep her head down, avoiding the stares of curious locals. The owner, Marty himself, an old man with a kind heart, gave her a worried look. You sure you should be here, Em? The phone's been ringing all morning. Reporters, bloggers, even TV stations want interviews. Emily shook her head. I just want to do my job. That's all. But her quiet day didn't last long. Just as she was serving a table of truckers, the sound of roaring engines filled the street, but this time, it wasn't motorcycles. It was black SUVs, 3 of them, parking outside the diner like a convoy. The doors opened, and men in suits stepped out. Then came Robert Kingsley himself, wearing a tailored suit worth more than the entire diner. He scanned the room coldly until his eyes landed on Emily. Are you the waitress? He asked sharply. Emily froze. Why yes, sir. I'm Robert Kingsley. Tiffany's father. The entire diner fell silent. Marty came out from the kitchen, wiping his hands nervously. Mr. Kingsley, this isn't the place for. Robert raised a hand to silence him. I just came to talk. He turned to Emily. You've become quite the sensation, miss. Emily. Emily Carter. Well, Emily Carter, he said, voice dripping with disdain, thanks to you, my daughter's reputation is destroyed. She's receiving death threats. Our company's stock dropped 5% overnight. Do you realize the damage you've caused? Emily's voice trembled. Sir, with all due respect, I didn't do anything. She made a mistake, he interrupted coldly. A childish, stupid mistake. And you, or your biker friends, turned it into a circus. The mention of the bikers made Emily's chest tighten. They were only defending me. I never asked for this. Robert leaned closer. Then prove it. Publicly. Tell the world you forgive her. Tell them it was just a misunderstanding. Emily blinked, stunned. You want me to lie? I want you to save my daughter, he snapped. Name your price. The diner gasped. Marty looked ready to intervene, but Emily raised a hand. Sir, I don't want your money. What your daughter did wasn't a mistake, it was cruelty. Maybe now she can learn something from it. Robert's eyes hardened. You'll regret this. He turned to leave, but the moment he stepped outside, the growl of engines filled the air again, deeper this time, heavier, louder. One by one, motorcycles appeared over the hill. Dozens of them. The Hells Angels had arrived. The street trembled under the rumble of 50 Harley engines. They surrounded the diner like a steel wave, chrome glinting in the sunlight. Duke, wearing his black leather vest and calm expression, stepped forward and folded his arms. Everything okay, sweetheart, he called through the open door. Robert froze, realizing who they were. You're those thugs from the video. Duke smiled faintly. Nah. We're the men who stand up when others stay seated. Emily rushed to the door. Please, Duke, it's fine. He was just leaving. Robert glanced around, his confidence fading as he realized he was surrounded. You think this scares me? I could have this place shut down in an hour.